Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Hilaal Live. It's the Sports Desk edition, and as we do on a Friday, we welcome our sports analyst, Feroz Shaik. Assalamu alaikum, Feroz.
Walaikum salam, Luqman. Another week, another show.
Absolutely, shukr so much. And you always bring in fascinating people to the show. Who do we have today?
Well, we're talking cricket again. Primrose, we're celebrating their victory. So the man of the match from last weekend's final, Shahid Tarlipp, is our guest this evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Assalamu alaikum, brother Ghulam.
Well,
Shukran for joining us.
shukran for having me. Yeah.
It's a pity the other guys didn't come out. Really wanted to have the trophy in studio, you know, the lovely looking cup that you guys won last week. But let's talk about that final last week. Last year was not so good. You guys lost in the final to Claremont. But this year you went one better, beating Brackenfell. How are you guys feeling about that win?
Alhamdulillah, you know, last year the guys were gutted, like I said to you earlier. Very disappointed that we lost in the final, and you know, I'll never forget the words of our captain at the time, Grant, who said, you know, next year we do this. And you know, this year the guys were determined, and you know, with the loss of Grant halfway through the veteran season, you know, I think the guys just gelled even better. And to actually win it in the final win the final was quite emotional. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think we just played for Grant, and I'm sure he was smiling from above there. But it was very satisfying. The guys were completely chuffed. They were over the moon, myself included.
Absolutely, Glam. Let's just tell our viewers a little bit about Grant Peterson before we talk about the match. You mentioned Grant.
Yes.
He was a Primrose man through and through. He is also part of the Vets Exco as well.
Yes.
Just tell us a little bit about Grant and why was it so special to win it for him?
You know, I've played with Grant at Primrose for a good couple of years. He's been a Primrose player since his junior days. You know, he gave his all for the club. And even when he was on the Exco, he made sure that everything ran smoothly. He did his best to make sure that the players were happy. Mm-hmm. You know, and he was just a complete and thorough gentleman. You know, I never saw Grant get angry. I never saw him, you know, lose his cool. And he was just cool, calm, and collected. Wherever you saw him, whether it was on the field, off the field, you know, and the guys respected and loved him.
Let's talk about that final now. Obviously, the Vets season is over, made up of two groups, Group 1 and 2. You guys from the one group and Brackenfell from the other group. You beat
Yes.
Ottoman in the semi-finals.
That's correct.
That was also a close game at home. And taking one step now against Brackenfell, batting first. In the team talk, did you guys always want to bat first? What was the strategy?
Yes, I think that was a strategy that we had throughout the season. You know, scoreboard pressure, and especially in a final. You know, you have the runs on the board, put the pressure on them, and you know, we just needed to bowl the right areas and just field tightly. And I think the guys really came to the party. I mean, I still said after 10 overs we needed to have them about 50 runs, which we did. They were 51 after 10 overs. So in a final, a game of that magnitude, you know, scoreboard pressure plays a big role. You know, it's not easy chasing, and especially against an attack that we have. You know, we've got we've got classy spinners in there. Sadiq David, it was Ahmed Majid, it was Shahid Tarlipp, who unfortunately was our captain and he didn't play in the final. Right. And then we've got a couple of good seamers in the team as well. So when we were, I mean, our captain was spoilt for choice in there.
Absolutely. I think Faldi Abdurrauf was the captain on the day and he handled the team absolutely brilliantly. But it all started from the toss. It worked in your favor. Because you lost the toss,
yes.
They asked you to bat 145.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You thought that was a good score to defend, 145.
Yes, in the end, you know, we got to 145. I think some lusty hits at the end of the innings by Munir Ali. We were quite chuffed that we got to 145. I mean, there was a stage where we thought if we get to 120, we'll be lucky. But yeah. You know, we got to 145, and you know that just gave us a little bit of an edge. You know, a little nick here to third man for the 4, 2 nicks actually in the last over, I think. And you know, with that ending the innings on a high, you know, the guys are that extra motivated, you know, to go out there and bowl well, catch well, field well.
Of course, you also played a vital knock as well. As we look at some of those picks while we're chatting, quick fire 11 or 5 balls also contributed to that. But it's always good to have a good start.
Yes.
And you did get with Sadiq Davids and Faldi up the road. I think it was 69 or so. Although, might be a little bit slow, but the start was a solid start to set the foundation for that finish in the end.
Yes, absolutely, Feroz. Faldi and Sadiq were absolute stalwarts this season. I think Sadiq ended up the top player, or the second. He was ranked second after Alwyn Williams of Weinberg. Faldi as well. I think he ended third or fourth. They just performed brilliantly this season. And to have a start like that, especially in the T20, it gives the team momentum, for the bigger hitters later on in the innings to come and get those runs and get more runs, and sometimes it's not easy, in T20s when there's failures up top, for the guys, it's not 45, 50 overs or test cricket where they can consolidate. You have to go from the start,
Of course.
And I think in our team we've got a lot of batters, we've got a long I won't say a long batting lineup. Guys up till number 9, number 10 that come and give some good shots at the end there, hit some boundaries. But like you said, Faldi and Sadiq, they were absolute stars this season.
Yeah. When you're looking at your other players in the team as well, were there other players that made quite a few advancements in terms of their career and in your team as well? Did they put their hand up and get recognised?
Well, look, our captain, Shahid Tarlipp, he did brilliantly well as well.
Okay.
We've got Salim Mukaddam. I'm sure you know Salim, fellow Protea. And, even number 5, number 6, myself, Munir Ali. There's a lot of guys in that squad that put their hands up and performed this year.
Nice.
Just to give you an idea, Lukman, the gentleman next to me is being modest here. So he played in the World Cup, over 50 World Cup last year,
recently.
Together with Salim Mukaddam.
Didn't they win, or they came in the finals?
That was the over 40s now. They played in the over 50s last year.
I see.
So they were runners up.
Awesome.
And he's also been selected for the Western Province over 50 team, which
So
take
we're
part
sitting
in
with the
the
Protea.
We're sitting with a Protea
Lovely,
here.
lovely.
And they'll be playing in the IPT in April. So there's him and there's Faldi as well that's selected in the IPT from Primrose. Is this the two of
Yes,
of
just
you?
the two of us, yeah.
And so they do have a very good team, and I think well deserved.
Of course.
And of course, Claremont is a big ground, so hitting 6s and 4s wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
Bowling, you guys started from the beginning with Iksan Tamoon and Labib. Really tied the Brackenfell batsman up and created that pressure.
Yes. It was important, that we started well as a bowling unit. We couldn't give them, let them run away with it, and I think Faldi got it spot on with the field placings as well. We studied one or two of their batters, Werner Moorman, who's won the World Cup with the over 40s now. We got the field placing right for him, and then, we cramped him up, and then he played a full shot and he got out early.
Okay.
So, just little things that counted on the day.
And that was a crucial wicket.
Yes, absolutely.
And of course, they left the best for last because they had the two Proteas bowling the crucial last 4 overs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Salim's first one was a little bit expensive. I'm sure there must have been a little bit of jitters there. When I think it went for about 15 or so in that. But then you bowled a very tight over and he came back as well. So the two of you really, really stopped Brackenfell from getting those extra 4s and 6s that they needed. I think at one stage they needed about 15 runs and over, which you guys didn't allow. And obviously when that final ball was bowled, talk to us about your feelings. I know you were a bit emotional, but overall in terms of the squad, what was it like?
Like I said, I was very emotional on the field. I had a tear in my eye, and I still get ridiculed about it. But that's me,
We've all on the pitch.
Yes, and I think when the last over was bowled, I thought I knew we had this in the bag. I trusted Salim. Salim I know for a long time. And after every ball, when there's no boundary, I just started getting goosebumps when I was looking up in the air. I'm even getting goosebumps now.
Thinking about it. Nice.
And the elation that I felt, the guys after when we just huddled like that, just that raw emotion, it was something special. it was something special, given the fact that we lost our captain halfway through the season, you know. So it was just absolutely brilliant. Even in the change rooms afterwards, you know, we took little videos of people dancing, performing the haka, and you know, but it was fun.
Nice.
It was absolutely brilliant.
And of course, let's not forget the man of the match performance, right? 11 of 5 and 2 crucial overs, 1 for 12. So personally, you contributed. How you feeling about that?
I don't know, I was just a little embarrassed maybe. Man of the match, I felt there were other people that maybe performed better with the bat or whatever, but you know, if they felt that that performance was worthy of man of the match, then thank you. You know, but I always back myself, you know, to bowl at the death. You know, it's something that I always I relish, you know, a challenge. And knowing that the guy was trying to hit everything, you know, you just needed to get the ball on the right spot, which I was just glad that I could do, I think, for 12 balls. And, you know, the rest was history.
Brilliant.
And
Brilliant.
before we wrap, Ghulam, of course, there's a small thing of playing in the club champs in August, and you guys will take a break now, and I'm sure you guys already started talking about that. When does all of that preparation start?
The talk about the tour I think it's happening in August. September, inshallah. We're just taking a break now after Ramadan, then we'll get together, we'll chat about it, and then you know, the fitness is going to be important. There's 4 or 5 games in a week, so there's a couple of guys that I think we need to work on the fitness, but we are all looking forward to it.
Inshallah. All the very best to you, Brother Ghulam. I really appreciate you taking the time to come into studio. Once again, congratulations to you and your team, and we're looking to see bigger and better things to come, inshallah.
Inshallah. Shukran for having me, sir.
My absolute pleasure. Feroz, shukr so much for bringing this young man into
It's
studio.
only a
And
pleasure.
we're looking forward
pleasure.
to hearing so much more, inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right, that's our first part of the Sports Desk. When we come back, we chat about some other sport as well that's happened over the last week. You're welcome to join us on the WhatsApp line and contribute. Let us know some sporting results that caught your eye over the last couple of weeks or the last week as well, inshallah. You're still watching Hilaal Live.